So I had this whole video script written out when I was like 10 hours into Disgaea 7, where I compared the systems of regular JRPGs to this, and Disgaea 7's numerous gameplay systems to this. And my point was going to be that if you're eating a burger like this, you're not worried about things that fall off it, really. Similarly, you can ignore a lot of the systems in Disgaea 7 and focus on the parts you like, the parts that speak to you. Well, for one reason and another, that video never got recorded, and I'm actually glad it didn't, because now I'm like 40 hours into Disgaea 7, and I realize that it's actually like this, only exponentially so. It's like normal JRPGs are a two-dimensional burger, and Disgaea 7 is a 5D burger, or something. What I mean, I guess, is that, yes, technically, you can ignore the various and numerous gameplay systems of Disgaea 7, focus solely on levels and gear, like a typical JRPG, and finish the storyline just fine. Technically, you can do that. But now, after playing it for longer, I think that to do so would be to miss the point. It would be a burger with a bunch of toppings and no meat. Because what's really at the heart of this game is the interplay of all those systems. See, my first impression had it backwards. My earlier script had this line in it. Disgaea 7 essentially says, here's a whole sandbox full of toys for you to play with. Break the game with them if you want. And I was treating it like that aspect of the game wasn't central to the experience. And now that I've played it for a while, I realized that the breaking of the game is the central experience, and the main story is just a sideshow, a way to gate off new characters and gameplay systems so that they can be introduced gradually. Abusing the gameplay systems is literally the point. Here's an example, and I didn't come up with this method. I learned about it from this video by Deadly Deity. I will link it in the description below. But essentially, you can combine the cheat function, the skill shop, the dark assembly, and the geopanel function to create this scenario where you can level up your characters into the thousands very quickly in the second map of the second episode. Now, this is totally optional, obviously, but figuring out how to do things like this is, as far as I can tell, entirely the point of Disgaea 7. You can ignore this and focus on the main story, and you'll get a fairly amusing, but also fairly standard strategy JRPG experience. But you'll be missing the meat of this game. It's right here, in the interplay between these systems. While I initially missed the point, I think, in my first impression of the game, one section of my initial script does still ring true. There are 2 points I'd like to make to anyone watching this video. 1. Disgaea 7 is a game that is very much worth your time, but you could probably pick that up from any review video. The second point is much more important. Don't get overwhelmed by all the game systems. Just keep playing until you unlock some gameplay feature that grabs you. These systems are an interconnected web, and as you master one feature, you'll begin to see how it influences and is influenced by other game systems. If you found this video helpful or interesting, leave a like below. If you think I pronounced Disgaea wrong, leave a comment telling me how you pronounce it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.